Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Recently I took another road trip and went to Northeast Tennessee, and while I was there I found a store called Food City. Now Food City is another one of these employee-owned grocery chains, and this store was absolutely one of the coolest places I've been in a while. Other than the fact that they had a pretty good selection of stuff, they also had this really amazing fresh service food area with a salad bar and hot foods and a bunch of other stuff. They had this elevated dining balcony that you could just overlook and watch people in the store. It was kind of just a neat experience. And of course, over the last few weeks, I've been able to feature stores that are either employee or family owned, smaller businesses that allow us to get away from the corporate chains. And while those kind of stores have their place, I always like to support these smaller businesses. So this video was a lot of fun for me. My youngest daughter came along with me to build the MRE, so we got to have a little bit of a family outing at the store. There's some really cool items in this. There's one mistake in it, but I'll explain that as we get to it. But without further ado, let me introduce you to the Dad Budget Adventures Homemade MRE Menu FC1. In my last video, I made a mistake in production and nobody seemed to have noticed yet, but I did not list my rules for how I build my MREs. I think what I want to do is try something and see which way you prefer it. I think for the next couple videos, instead of going through the rules, I'm just going to put them down in the description box below. If you want to see the parameters that I use for building my MREs, go down and check out the description box. Also, there'll be affiliate links down there for any products that I use in the video that you might want to go check out. But let me know which way you prefer. Do you like having the rules in the video itself, or would you rather just read them in the description box? So let's open this thing up and see what's in the Dad Budget Adventures MRE from Food City. There's a lot of stuff in here. All right, so the first thing I've got in here is this organic shredded beef with beef broth from Wild Planet. Wild Planet makes some really cool packaged foods, and so far everything I've tried from them has been pretty good. I came across this little 3-ounce pack, and it's just about the right size for one person for a portion. So we're gonna give this a try. But of course, you know, just a pack of shredded beef is not really dinner, so we had to have a really good side to go with it, right? So what I found for our side is these Old El Paso Santa Fe style beans. This, I think, is going to make for a really good dinner. I really love these little microwavable pouches because honestly, this is such an easy thing to pack and keep up with, and it's perfect for cooking with methods like the trucker's lunchbox. So let's go check that out. Let's get these in the electric lunchbox, get them warming up so that we can have a nice hot lunch. Now, as usual, I have the trucker's lunchbox preheating so that it just kind of makes things a little bit easier. But I also put a little bit of water in there because creating that hot water bath makes the items in there cook a little quicker. So next thing we have in here is our walking around snack. And for that, I did something a little different. The last couple of videos, I've been trying to experiment with some alternative ideas for walking around snacks. Instead of just going and buying a bag of trail mix or something like that, I've been looking for unusual items to kind of shake things up a little bit. In a prior video, I got walnut pieces from the baking section of the grocery store. So we had a bag of nuts that was supposed to be for baking things, and we just turned it into a walking around snack. And for this one, this is something I've been wanting to try for a while, but once again, I have not been able to find things with enough of a shelf life to be able to put them in the MRE. But today we're gonna do one of these single serve packs of honey bunches of oats. This is kind of like a trail mix. It just doesn't have a bunch of nuts in it like you would find in trail mix, but it's got a lot of the other granola style elements to it. Looking forward to trying this. I think that's gonna be a really satisfactory snack. For dessert, I picked up a pudding cup from Food Club. Now I'm guessing Food Club is one of the store brands at Food City, but these are just like the national brand pudding cups, and this particular one is chocolate. And once again, I had to do some hunting around because there were other things that I wanted to try, but none of them really had a shelf life that was adequate for what I needed. So I was really glad when I finally found one that had that shelf life. So we're gonna have a little bit of chocolate for dessert, but we don't have to worry about it melting on us. And the last thing in our bag is our beverage, and this is where I made a mistake. I don't know if I was just distracted or maybe I just wasn't wearing my glasses when I picked this item out. And I had to individually pack this because the item itself was not individually packed in its original packaging. But what I picked up was this Y'all Sweet Tea. So when I found this, I kind of thought that these were individual tea bags, but it turns out that they are tea bags for making a large quantity of tea. But we're gonna try it anyway. We're gonna see how it is. At first I thought this might be pre-sweetened tea, but it's just tea with a specific flavor palette to make sweet tea. So we're gonna give this a try. Before we go any further, speaking of our sweet tea, let's go ahead and get this mixed up so that we can start trying some of these other items. So we've got us some hot water in the redneck crystal glass. Let's open this bag up and see what's inside. Save that and reuse it later. So what we've got is this giant pouch of tea. This is designed for making about a gallon of tea, but we're just gonna make us a single serving here and see how this works out. Put that down in there. And since we're making sweet tea, we're gonna break out one of these packs of Nate's Raw Honey. Y'all know how much I love these things. And we're gonna get that in there. So we're gonna let that steep for a little bit and come back to it in a few minutes. So really the only thing we can try before our entree is our walking around snack, which is our honey bunches of oats. So let's pop this little sucker open. Yeah, the great thing about these little packs right here is that if you do have access to something like milk, or even if you have powdered milk that you want to mix up and add in here, you can just eat it right out of this bowl. That's such a nice smell. It smells delicious. Try one of these oat clusters here. That's good stuff. Let's get us a whole handful. That's really good. And I think for something like a between meal snack, or if you're just needing something a little extra to kind of top things off, that's a good way to go. And there's a pretty substantial portion in there. It's not skimpy by any means, but it's quite yummy. This just makes me want to go get some milk, dump it in there, and go to work on this thing. All right, look how dark that's getting in the bottom. Let's give this a little stir. Get our honey mixed in there. So there's something about the way people drink tea, particularly hot tea, that I've always been curious about. I see a lot of people that will leave the tea bag in their tea while they drink it. I've always been one of those people that when I'm ready to drink my tea, I take the tea bag out because I don't necessarily want it to just keep getting stronger and stronger as I'm trying to drink it. And I've also heard that that can make your tea bitter. So where do you stand on that? Leave me a comment down below and tell me, when you're drinking hot tea, do you take the tea bag out or do you leave it in there and then just throw it away when you're done? This stuff is super hot. I'm going to taste it like this, and then I'm going to go throw some ice in this because I'm from the South, y'all. I need ice in my tea, at least when it's supposed to be iced tea. That's good tea. I don't know what makes it different that it's specifically designed to be sweet tea. I don't know if maybe that's just a marketing thing or what, but I mean, it just tastes like good, regular old black tea to me. Let me go throw some ice in this, cool it down a little bit because it is screaming hot, and I'll be back in a second. All right, so we got a little bit of ice in there. Let's stir it in. You know, I find the idea of a product being marketed as a sweet tea blend a little bit funny living in the South, because if you order anything besides sweet tea, people look at you like you got 13 heads. There are a lot of people that didn't realize that you could get tea that was not sweet. All right, so my tea has basically consumed up all of my ice, but let's give it a try like this. It's really good tea. I will say that the single pack of honey does not quite do it when it comes to adding any real sweetener to it. I can tell that it's in there, but it's not terribly sweet. So this may just self-destruct because it's not sweet enough. But it is good tea. It's got a really good flavor to it. It's very enjoyable. Since we're still waiting on our entree to cook, let's grab another bite of this. That really is a good cereal, even just dry like this. I think I need more ice. Boom, that's better. Ooh, that's good stuff. Wow. I think the time has come to get out our entree inside, plate this up, and see what we're having for lunch today. First thing I'm going to do is get out these Santa Fe style black beans. Ooh, that is hot. My goodness. See the steam coming off of that? Let's open these up. Let's see what we've got inside. I always liked old El Paso products. This was one of the original Mexican food at home companies when I was a kid. That looks pretty good. Little black beans. Looks like some onions, maybe some tomatoes. Let's get this out onto this plate and see what we've got here. Those are looking pretty good. Cooked down really well. Looks like there's some corn in there. This is a pretty interesting looking dish. I mean, this on its own would probably be a pretty satisfactory entree, but if you like your vegetables, all right, let's give this a try, see what we've got just by itself. That's tasty. That's good stuff. I like it. It's got a good southwestern flavor, some cumin, some chili powder. It's got all the right notes to it. It's got a little bit of heat to it, but not too much. And it doesn't taste overly seasoned either. It's not something where the seasoning just punches you in the face when you're trying to eat it. All right, so next up, let's get out this Wild Planet organic shredded beef. I am super curious about this. See how this is gonna be. All right, so that's interesting looking. I don't know what I thought was gonna await me in this pouch, but this is very, I guess because this is just beef and broth. There's not a sauce on it. So it looks a little strange. It looks like beef. I'm just so used to opening these packs and there is a bunch of sauce in it that kind of overwhelms everything else. So it smells good, but it's got a really strange. It has kind of a cat food smell. When you really get into it, it's got a bit of a cat food smell. So let's try it and hope that it doesn't taste as bad as it smells. The meat by itself is not great. It's got an odd texture to it. It's a bit stringy. It's got a dry feel to it in your mouth. But let's see what happens when we mix it with these beans. I'm just gonna pour everything in here straight on top of these beans, broth and all. And let's mix this up and see if the meat kind of helps. Becomes kind of a ranch style beans dish, adding this shredded beef in with these stewed beans. Good old cowboy food right here. Nothing like eating a plate full of beans and sitting around a campfire with the guys, right? Living your best Blazing Saddles life. All right, let's give this a go. Now that we've got our ranch style Santa Fe beans, you got a big chunk of this beef and a bunch of these beans. Let's give that a go. Yeah, that's not bad at all. If I really wanted to make this better, I think pouring the contents of the packages out into the cooker tray and let the seasoning from the beans cook in with the beef would be a really good way to kind of kick that flavor up a little bit. Let's get another bite. But number one, to leave well enough alone, I got something I want to try. Recently, I received something from the Amazon wish list from a viewer that goes by Brick. Thank you very much, Brick, for the items that you sent. It's very much appreciated. But one of the things that he sent me was a pack of individual packs of sriracha. This right here is screaming out for some sriracha. Let's throw this on there. I think this right here is exactly what this needs. We're gonna do 2 packs. I don't know if y'all just caught what just happened, but I just pepper sprayed myself with sriracha. I got beans. I got beans all over my shirt. I got sriracha in my eye. Oh my goodness. All right, so I have to tell you guys, this is as great as this MRE has been so far. It has been absolutely cursed. I tried to film this yesterday, and for whatever reason, I could not get the lights in the studio to come on. I tried over and over again. Nothing worked right. I ended up having to go to the hardware store, get some new bulbs to change out the fixture above me. And at one point, I just decided I'm just not even gonna try anymore. Y'all may notice there's some inconsistencies between videos with the background lighting and the teardrop. I've got this little light thing, and the problem is, every time I turn it on, I forget that it's on. I walk away and it's battery powered, and it just uses up the battery. So I tried to turn it on, it wouldn't come on. And I still forgot when I went to the hardware store to get the light bulbs to get batteries for that. And now I'm pepper spraying myself with sriracha. Brick, I do not blame you for this. Here we are. All right, so y'all are just gonna have to deal with the fact that I now have ranch style beans and sriracha all over my shirt for the rest of this video. But hey, it was fun. All right, I have no idea where my spork went. I'm gonna have to go back and review this and slow it down and see what exactly just happened. I have no idea where my spork is, so I'm gonna get another one. And by the way, for the next few videos, I've stopped putting the Amazon wish list up in the description box, simply because I kind of feel bad about you guys sending me stuff. When I first started doing the wish list, it was because there were things that I needed in order to put things in front of you guys. Then I found myself just stocking the wish list with things that I thought would be interesting. And honestly, I get so much stuff now between the stuff that's sent to me to do reviews and the things that you guys are sending that I have run out of time to try to put them in all the videos. And I feel bad about receiving things that I never really get to put on film and thank the people that sent them. So I'm taking the wish list down for a little while until I find some things that I really think you as my viewers can benefit from. So if you go looking for it, it's not going to be there for a minute. But thank you so much to everybody who has been sending things off of that. It's been a blessing to me and my family to be able to include things that I'm not having to spend a bunch of money on. And that's part of what makes this channel fun. It also lets me know that you guys appreciate what I'm doing here by financially supporting me without me starting up a Patreon or some stupid stuff like that. For now, the wish list is going to come down and it'll go back up as I find things that I think actually are valid needs for the channel. But thank you again to everybody, and thank you to Brick for sending me my pepper spray. All right, let's try this with the sriracha added. Let's hope this goes better than a few minutes ago. Here we go. Yep, that takes it all the way right there. The sriracha is the perfect addition to this. It drives it home, finishes out this dish exactly the way that it needs to be. I think the only thing that can make this better is if I had more of those Arizona chips and salsa that I had from the gardener's video. Y'all, I've gotten so many comments about those things, and I have never seen them before, and I'm hoping I can find them again because they were really good. And I kind of want to build an entire MRE around those chips, but I'll have to find them somewhere else before I can do that. Let's get another bite. This makes for a really good, hearty, and filling meal. It's definitely one of those that you're going to feel like you ate something. It's pointless. Another drink of our y'all sweet tea. Last but not least, we've got our chocolate pudding. So I started thinking the other day, as I come across all of these store brands of different products, that I might look at building a MRE just based on store brands. Not necessarily all from the same place, not necessarily a best of, but what if I just went to different stores and started picking up items that are specifically in store brands and built an MRE like that? What would y'all think about that? Leave me a comment and tell me if that sounds like something you'd like to see, because it sounds like something I'd like to do. All right, let's try our chocolate pudding. You know, it's still super hot everywhere right now, so having chocolate on hand that you don't have to worry that it's going to melt all over everything, that's a plus right there. Yep, that's good pudding. Very smooth, good chocolate flavor. A little bit cheaper than the national brand, but every bit is good. It's time to do something weird. Let's give this a try. Seems like it might taste kind of like a chocolate pie. Let's give that a go. That's so weird, but it's good. It's going for round 2. All right, so that is it for this rather messy and a little bit painful homemade MRE from Food City. If you have a store in your area where you haven't seen me prepare an MRE, please tell me about it in the description box below. I may not have it in my area, but I do travel quite a bit, and in my travels, I try to find places that I don't have at home. So while it may take me a minute to get around to it, I've been keeping a list of all the places that you guys tell me about, and when I can, I try to hit them up. Food City's no different. It was another one that somebody dropped in the comments section. Otherwise, I wouldn't have even known that they existed. But that's a wrap for this one, and until the next one, prepare for the world that you live in, not the one you wish existed. And we'll see you around. Oh my eyes.